Okay. Up there it is. And bam. For the book of the face. Hello, studio audience. Up, where are we at? Come on. Stockton. Stockton. Get up here. See fine cameras switching. Ah, there we go. Oh yeah, this one I have to just do the deletion. Oh, there it is. Boom. Okay, and we just put in the Sunday night Islam show on the go. And same host. And here we go. And, yep, 3, 2, 1, bam. Got it up and going. Okay. I like to do a little weather report. Boom. And, oh my. Zikas Pioton Brow. And what we do here is that we're just going to go right to the weather. And that's usually right up there, most frequently visited other spot. Oh, yeah, baby. California, yay. Getting the weather today. And that looks like a high wind warning, is it? What's that flesh tone stuff? Wind advisory? Now along the coast we have a nice pink, and that's a gale warning up there off Cape Mendocino. Then there's various mouths. Wumpa, wumpa, wumpa. Let me get this. Winter storm warning for the Sierras. Definitely all the Sierras. From Lassen all the way down to the Kern County line. And also along throughout the Siskiyous. Up in Oregon and across North Nevada. We have a winter weather watch. Then again, here in the valley, we got this flesh tone stuff going on. Says wind advisory, but it is raining as well. So, the map making's a little weird. High surf warning. High surf advisory along the coast. So we're going to go now to a local weather report. And there we go. Got 6:20, 20 after the hour. It's 4:20 plus 2. No, that's 6:20. So what do we got going? We have moderate rain and fog, 52 degrees at hazardous weather conditions here in Stockton at the Stockton Metro Airport as of 6:05. Humidity at 82%. Wind speed, okay, I don't need this quite so high there. Wind speed at, 29 with gusts up to 35. Coming out of the south-southeast, barometer at 29.77 inches of mercury. Dew point at 46 degrees. Visibility 3.5 miles. So, some of this, oh my, you know, they say you might need glasses for reading computer screens. Yeah, they can be strange. And until now until 4 a.m. Monday, wind advisory up for the whole valley. Tonight, wind advisory with a 90% chance of rain and patchy fog with low of looks to be 46. Monday, 40% chance of showers and patchy fog with a high of 59. Monday night, patchy fog and chance of showers and patchy fog with a 30% chance of rain Tuesday morning with a low looks to be of 40 degrees. Now, Tuesday, chance of showers with a high of 60. Tuesday night, rain likely, and then breezy with a low looks to be 51. Wednesday, showers likely with a high of 58. Wednesday night, slight chance of showers with a low of 46. And then Thursday, partly sunny with a high of 60. And so we're going to have rain for the next 3 days here in Stockton. And we'd love for you to join KXVS, become a member, and make Stockton better together. Community has a voice. We're doing community radio. We are the voice of Stockton.org and coming to you over KXVS.org. We are a multimedia operation, a nonprofit here at 231 West Bedford Road, doing community radio for you, and we got the monthly Connections free newspaper for aspiring journalists. Okay, let's go to the show logs, and wonder mine was the last one up there. Oh, they do. Nikki's always the first one it goes to. And I'm going to just bring up my own records and oh my. That looks like it could be it. Nope, that's not it. And again, I'm looking for my show records here to share with you. And we're going to be getting to, oh, there it is. Got many of them. And this, see, I've actually been doing this for 4 years, 4.5, and not every week. And the early shows were not recorded. Some of those recordings were voluminous, used gigabytes where not necessary. And a couple of years ago, we got a good crew in here, and we got things going real right. And but going back, this, oh, interesting, 2017 0101, 8:21 p.m., did a show, and that was on Surah 29. And so we, that looks like, and we're, actually goes back to September 10th, 2016 is when this record goes back, and that was book 34, Suna book, Hadith Suna book 34. So, and Surah 45 and 42 and 41, we were in the, looks to be the middle Meccan or middle Meccan at that time. Maybe even just the early. And since then, we have come forward chronologically through the Quran. We're now to Surah 65 and 59 we'll be going over this evening. And Surah 8, it seems to me, was the 98, 64. Oh my. So 1 through 6 on Revelation. Yeah. So past 6 months, going back to June of last year, we at that point we were covering the history, 619 to 624, Mecca and Medina history from the Age of Faith by Will Durant, among the other things we bring on this show. And more on the history in the following show on the 17th, June 17th. Then we did Hadith Sunnah, Book 1, Book 2, then Surahs 98, 64, and 62. That looks to be around the start of the, what was Surah 2? Was, oh yeah, by that time we were already into the Medina era. And the last surah we read was Surah 4. And we're chronologically around 626. Amini Deo, yeah, that was Surah 4. 626, 627, and that's where what we're the time in the Hijaz that we're at with these surahs that we're reading. Muhammad's already established things in Medina, and they have money coming in. They're on the offensive more than the defensive, but they got powerful enemies, you know, that they're working to overcome. We, again, here at KXVS, we want you to become a member, and especially if you're a business here locally. We're strong supporters of capitalism, and we invite you to come here, and we got good deals for you, $100 a quarter, $200 a quarter, $500 a quarter, and we'll be mentioning you on the air. We'll do small shows about you, and can really get things going for you. Hotel Furniture Liquidators is one of our favorite sponsors. They're at 1648 North Shaw Road, just east of 99. Nearest cross street is Fremont. Furniture for your home and family. The Miracle Mile Bookstore, 2210 Pacific Avenue, and Doors Book Recyclery, 2310 Pacific Avenue. Books for your home, for your family, for your friends, for you. And Fong Tu might be, you know, if you got a lot of books, she might be interested in buying them from you. Custom Plastics and Signs at 326 East Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard here in Stockton. It's they do plastic fabricating. They'll sell you plastic rods, sheets, and tubes. They make signs, stencils, vehicle and boat graphics. They'll print business cards and T-shirts. And yes, they fabricate plastic. Millennium Computer Repair on the road for you in the 209-922-1879. Sarfraz Khan, leading technician. Virus and spyware removal, performance enhancement, computer password removal, data backup, hard drive repair. We buy, sell, and trade old computers, lowest prices in town. And they also will consider buying computer parts. Again, in the 209-922-1879. That's Millennium Computer Repair, 209-922-1879. The Restore at 4933 West Lane here in Stockton. New stuff arriving daily. Building materials, tools, equipment, building accoutrements, doors, windows, HVAC, electrical, paint, cleaning materials, insulation. It's all there at the Restore, 4933 West Lane. Tender Donuts, we bake fresh daily. Chenrith Sam and Civ Sam at 1304 East Hammer Lane. Tender Donuts, we bake fresh daily. Leaders T-shirt printing up in Lodi. You need that business card or that T-shirt printed? Oh, you can get it at Leaders T-shirt printing, 500 East Lodi Avenue at Garfield. All right. Let me go get a bottle of water before things get a little strange. Refreshments now, baby. Gonna up the sound. Boom and boom. And we're gonna get going with our recorded portion of our show. And gonna plow right on into the Islam show. Again, 626 AD. Probably in the fall. Probably you know, maybe a few storms are coming through and some winter rain, if that's the rainy time of year, which I believe it is. And so with that, let us go to the audition computer. We have 6:34 p.m. here at the Voice of Stockton. And let me bring up, I got to do a title block in here. Oh, my goodness gracious. What do? We stop and take this and wait a minute, file, new gen, open, save. Is there a discard? Close all, close, open, and oh yeah, save changes. No. And so now, what I can do, the boss had that set up for me. Shucks. Okay, instead I got a clear screen, and this is what I'm more used to. Alrighty. And I'm putting up the date 2019, January, and it is the triple check this, the 6th, correct? Yeah. 06. And then put up the Sunday Islam show, SHOW. Getting started, we have 6 6:36 p.m. Looks to be 6:36, starting in 3, 2, 1. Good evening, listeners, KXVS.org listeners. I am Richard Slezak. We got 6:36 p.m. here at 231 West Bedford Road in Stockton, California. It's time for the Sunday Evening Islam Show. Heading over to the big table. First off with those. And hooey. This guy's a peg. Look at all that stuff he's got up there. Oink, oink, oink. Uh-oh. If he's a pig, that means he might not be a Muslim. I am a Christian. I am doing this as a bridge to bring understanding of faiths to the audience and to me and to the world. Because if you know somebody else's religion to some degree, you know a little bit more about your own. By doing that, you're able to articulate with others, and instead of hating, understanding. And, oh boy, we don't want to get overly tangled up here. Okay. And, another thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to make sure about that we're 37 start preceded by the XSplit setup, weather.gov, sponsors. And so let me check the ongoing audition computer. Yeah, now that's the XSplit up there, the top one. And want to keep that going, so we have the we're going out over Facebook and YouTube. When we do our Quran readings, I like to lead off with this 1991 Turkish translation. It's the ninth. This is a ninth edition copy. Came out in 2006. It has lots of footnotes in it. It's again a translation done by Turkic Islamic scholars whose native language is Turk, and then they learned English and Arabic over the course of their lives, and were able to provide the scholarly translation. And we're leading off with Surah 65 this evening, and it's on divorce. And in the Quran, that'll be covering pages 557. Now, in case any of you think I'm up to some shenanigans, that's no shenanigans here, 558. So these are not lengthy, but each one has various messages, theology, history, and jurisprudence for Medina at that point in time. On the issue of divorce. And here we go. At-talaq, the relations of the sexes are an important factor in sexual life. This is a statement leading into the surah itself, written by the translators. It's common to Bibles as well to have such statements preceding the describing what a book or maybe a chapter that one is encountering. This surah deals with some of its aspects. The Prophet, peace be with him, said, "In the sight of Allah, divorce is the most hateful of the permitted things. Thus, the sanctity of marriage is safeguarded because it is the essential basis of family life. On the other hand, the sanctity should not be made into a fetish at the expense of human life. Divorce, in the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful. O Prophet, if you believe, divorce your wives. If you, that is speaking to believers, divorce your wives, divorce them at the end of their waiting period, and keep your duty to Allah, your Lord." Wait a minute. To your Lord. Do not expect them from their homes, expel them from their homes, or let them go away unless they commit a proven immorality. Such are the bounds set by Allah, and he that transgresses Allah's bounds wrongs his own soul. You never know, after that Allah may bring to pass some new situation. Pardon me, I got something, some dust there in near my eye. Footnote. Although divorce is lawful, it is disliked by Allah. Allah addresses to Prophet Muhammad, but the believers are also responsible, just like the Prophet. If the divorce has to take place, it has to be at the end of their waiting period, and they should not be expelled from their homes until proper arrangements are made. During the waiting period, one of the parties might regret and wish to return to the other party, then he or she might want to return to one another. Verse 2, when they have reached their prescribed time, either keep them honorably or part with them honorably. Call to witness 2 honest men among you, and keep your testimony upright for Allah. Whoever believes in Allah and in the last day is exhorted to do this, and whoever keeps his duty to Allah, he will appoint a way out for him. Verse 3, and will provide for him from whence he did not reckon. Allah is sufficient for the man who puts his trust in him, and he will surely bring about what he decrees. He has set a measure for all things. Footnote, toward the end of the waiting period, the husband either keep his wife honorably or part with honorably. He should keep 2 witnesses at either case. The divorce should take according to the Sunnah. It should be at the end of the prescribed period, not to expel the woman from her house. Make 2 witnesses present and be just while doing all these. Verse 4, if you are in doubt concerning those of your wives who have ceased menstruating, know that their waiting period is 3 months, and let the name for be the waiting period for those who have not yet menstruated. As for pregnant women, their term will be the time they deliver their burden. Allah will ease the hardship of the man who fears him. That is the commandment of Allah, which he has revealed to you. Whoever keeps his duty to Allah, he will remit from him his evil deeds and will enlarge his reward. Lodge them in your homes according to your means. Do not harass them so as to make life intolerable for them. If they are with child, maintain them until they deliver their burden, and if after that they give suck to their children, give them their sums and consult together in all reasonableness. But if you cannot bear with each other, let other women suckle for you. Let the rich man spend according to his wealth, and the poor man according to what Allah has given him. Allah does not charge a man with more than he has given him. He will bring ease after hardship. And how many a community revolted against the ordinance of its Lord and his messengers, and we called it to a stern account and chastised it with dire punishment. So it tasted all ill effects of its conduct, and the consequences of its conduct was lost. Let me do a check here at the audition computer to make sure that all the wavy lines are present on the screen. Oh yeah, looking real good. And yeah, it's up there, and also the radio DJ computer. Uh-oh. Come on. There we go. All right. 6:49 here at KXVS.org. All right. Okay. Continuing. Verse 10, Allah has prepared for them stern punishment to keep your duty, so keep your duty to Allah, O men of understanding. O you who believe, now Allah has sent down to you a reminder, a messenger reciting to you the revelations of Allah made plain, that he may bring forth those who believe and do good works from darkness into light, and whosoever believes in Allah and does right, he will bring him into gardens watered by running streams, where he will abide forever. Allah has appointed for him a generous provision. Allah it is who has created 7 heavens, and of the earth a similar number. His commandment descends through them, as that you may know that Allah has power over all things, and that he has knowledge of all things. A closing footnote. Just as there are grades one above the other in the spiritual kingdom, so too there are similar grades in our life on this earth. If we adopt the literal meaning, then just as we see the heavenly two spheres, one above another over our heads, so we can see the crust of the earth as built up of geological strata, one above the other. All right. Surah 65. Seven heavens. And verse 11. And this is so short, we'll just do a little oversweep here. And my, there we go. And divorce. That is a commandment. Okay. 1 through 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 1 through 7. Directions. And 8. Keep Allah's ordinances with an I. Okay, 10. His commandment. Okay, and that pretty much, that's pretty much through 12. And there's the waiting period. That was at least 90 days, a season. All righty. Now we'll go back. That was 65. And that looks to be 58, and thus making it 59. Mutual disillusion is 59. Oh, wait a minute. That's LXV. That's 64. 63, 62, 61, 60, and oh yeah, 24 is Exile Al-Hasher coming up, and that'll be on page 544. And we're continuing here at the Voice of Stockton, 6:55 p.m. here at the John Moriarty studio. I knew John. He's a good guy. Made it until 2013. Light Exile. That'll be coming up. I should mark that. Page 262. And divorce is on 374. And that's the Quran, which is my N.J. Dawood completed his translation and submitted it for publishing back in 1956, and that's Penguin Publishing put this out in 1970, and I got this probably at a garage sale or something, but anyways, or used bookstore. And divorce is on page 374. Yeah, there we go. Got the page marker right in it. And 656 here at the Voice of Stockton. Just be reading over to page 376. In the name of Allah, the compassionate, the merciful, prophet and believers, if you divorce your wives, divorce them at the ends of their waiting period. Compute their waiting period and have fear of Allah your Lord. Do not expel them from their homes or let them go away unless they commit a proven crime. Such are the bounds set by Allah. He that transgresses Allah's bounds wrongs his own soul. You never know. After that, Allah may bring to pass some new event. When their waiting term is ended, either keep them with kindness or part with them honorably. Call to witness 2 honest men among you and give your testimony before Allah. Whoever believes in Allah and the last day is exhorted to do this. He that fears Allah, Allah will give him a means of salvation and provide for him whence he does not reckon. Allah is all-sufficient for the man who puts his trust in him. He will surely bring about what he decrees. He has set a measure for all things. If you are in doubt concerning those of your wives who have ceased menstruating, know that their waiting period is 3 months, and let the same be the waiting period of those who have not yet menstruated. As for pregnant women, their term shall end with their confinement. Allah will cease the hardship of the man who fears him. Such is the commandment which Allah has revealed to you. He that fears Allah shall be forgiven his sins and richly rewarded. Lodge them in your own homes according to your means. Do not harass them so as to make life intolerable for them. If they are with child, maintain them until the end of their confinement, and if after that they give suck to their child, give them their pay and consult together in all reasonableness. If you cannot if you cannot bear with each other, let other women suckle for you. Let the rich man spend according to his wealth, and the poor man according to what Allah has given him. Allah does not charge a man with more than he has given him. He will bring ease after hardship. How many nations have rebelled against the commandments of their Lord and his apostles? Stern was our reckoning with them, and grievous our punishment. They tasted oh my, what did they taste? They tasted you and the covenant. What? No, that's 370. They tasted the fruit of their misdeeds, and the fruit of their misdeeds was ruin. Allah has prepared a woeful scourge for them. Have fear of Allah, you men of understanding. At 7 p.m., you are webtuned to the KXVS.org, the Voice of Stockton coming to you over KXVS.org. I am Richard Slezak. This is the Sunday evening Islam show. Going on a trek through the Quran, Hadith, and Sunnah, and history of the Hijaz from 610 to, well, Islam's still rolling. So there's always be plenty to talk about. Be that as it may, we're bringing out the theology from its founding. We're sharing in the Quran, and This is the 1956 N.J. DeWood translation. Believers, Allah has now set down to you a warning, an apostle proclaiming to you the revelations of Allah in all plainness, so that he may lead the faithful who do good works from darkness to the light. He that believes in Allah and does good works shall be admitted to gardens watered by running streams, where he shall dwell forever. Allah has made for him a generous provision. It is Allah who has created 7 heavens and earths, as many, and earths as many. His commandment descends through them, so that you may know that Allah has power over all things, and that he has knowledge of all things. And waiting period keeps all this. General faith, I would call that. Closing paragraphs. All righty, and we have 7:02 p.m. And again, okay, that was the Quran, and 7:02 p.m. and that was Surah 65. Okay, now we're going to go on the table, and that's on page 262 is exile, and 296, 240, 246, and just about there, people. About to turn that page. Yeah, exile on 262. We'll mark that there. All rightius. 7:04, about halfway through the show. And going back to the Quran, 1991 edition. Islam was a new religion, so issues such as divorce very much needed to be addressed beyond, what the culture offered. Al-Hashr, exile, revealed at Medina. Al-Hashr, exile, takes its name from verses 2 through 17, where the exile of the Jewish tribe Bani Nadir is related. They were exiled because of attempting to murder the prophet by treason. The hypocrites had secretly sympathized with those Jews and had promised to side with them should there be a war with the Muslims, and to emigrate with them if they were constrained to be exiled. But the hypocrites did not help them when the Muslims marched against them, and when they were exiled, the hypocrites did not go with them. Ooh-wee! Most interesting. Take note of this. Exiling of the Bani Nadir tribe, 625 AD time, and they were accused of making a separate peace with Mecca. Alrighty-us. 7:06 p.m. Alrighty. In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful. All that is in the heavens and that is in the earth glorifies Allah, and He is the Mighty, the Wise. He it is that drove the disbelievers among the people of the book out of their dwelling and into the first exile. You did not think that they would go, and they, for their part, fancied that their strongholds would protect them from Allah. But Allah overtook them, hence they did not expect, casting such terror into their hearts, had their dwellings were destroyed by their own hands as well as by those of the faithful. So learn a lesson, O you who have eyes. Had Allah not decreed evacuation for them, He surely would have punished them in this world, and therein, in the hereafter, is the punishment of the fire. That is because they were opposed to Allah and His Messenger, and he that is opposed to Allah should know that Allah is stern in retribution. Whatever palm tree you cut down or leave standing upon its roots, it is by Allah's leave, so that He might humiliate the devil, the evildoers. Footnote: the unnecessary cutting down of fruit trees or destruction of crops or any wanton destruction whatever in a war is forbidden by the law and practice of Islam, but some destructions may be necessary to put pressure on the enemy and to so that extent it is allowed, yet so far as possible and consistently with that objective of military operations, such trees should not be cut down. Both these principles are in accordance with the divine will and were followed by Muslims in their expedition. Verse 6: and that which Allah gave as spoil to His messengers, from them you did not make for this or any other expeditions with either cavalry or candidacy, but Allah gives you His messenger hardship over whatsoever, and whomsoever Allah pleases, and Allah is able to lick many things. The Jewish tribe of Nadir at Medina had concluded an agreement with the Lahai, with the last messenger, but they breached it and they were expelled from Medina, and parentheses, the first 6 verses refer to this event. And verse 7, that which Allah gives as spoil to his messenger from the people of their townships. It is for Allah and his messenger, for the state, and for the near of kin and the options, great and small, and the needy and the wayfarer, so that they will not come except late in the week. The property of the rich amongst you. Whatever the messenger gives you, accept it, and whoever he forbids you, abstain from it. Have fear of Allah. He is stern in retribution. Footnote, the spoils that taken from the enemies of Islam have to be divided according to the above verse. The spoils have to be divided into 5 persons, and the portion divided for Allah and his population helped Allah and his messenger. And the spoil is for you poor fugitives who have been driven out of their homes and their belongings, and who seek bounty from Allah and help Allah and his messenger. They are the true believers. Those before them who had homes in the city, Medina, in parentheses, and embraced the faith before them, love those who have sought refuge with them. They entertain no desire in their hearts for what they are given, but are they are given, but rather prefer them above themselves. Triumph poverty is, just for through poverty became their intent, and whoever is saved from his own avarice will surely prosper. All righty. That's a little late. That was page 445, 545. Yeah. Verse 10, Surah 59. And those who came into the Felt River, and one of them said, Our Lord, forgive us and our brethren who were before us in the faith, and he did not place it, our hearts and any messenger towards them. Our Lord, you are compassionate and and merciful. Okay, here's the footnote to that. Those who came into the faith after them are all the Muslim generations up to the end of this worldly life. As Muslims generate up to the end of our time on earth. All Muslims should respect the compassionate, not criticize them. Have you not seen the hypocrites? They say to their fellow disbelievers among the people of the book, if you are driven not, we shall have faith that you will go out and with you, and we shall never they any more against you, and if you are mocking, shall obey you any more, and if you are mocked, we verify shall help be on the way to meet you, and Allah ben witness that they are lying. Footnote: reference is to Abdallah's Ubay, the chief hypocrite, and as his suspensions with the national firearms folks. Okay, 12. If they are driven out, as they will not go up with cash, the formations fall apart. Will they help their husband's foot? Indeed, if they go to their help, they will turn their backs in the fight, and they will not be helped. The dread of you is more intense. Hearts thin after several years. Their dread of you is more intense in their hearts than their fear of Allah, as we depend on those. Are they of understanding? Got 7:19 here at the Voice of Stockton. Footnote: the fear of hypocrites from the believers to a man that Allah only refers to cousin. We had gloves on. Allah is about 700 million followers. The fear of hypocrites from the believers, a more than Allen, is because Allah has proposed any others that Allah, verse 14, they will never fight against you as in a body which civil national judges say you're perfect. They will never fight against you in a body set to have a foundation. Just getting used to there. Whole lot I haven't seen. Kind of tired. 7:20 p.m. here at the Voice of Stockton. We're in Surah 59, about to head on into verse 15. Let me check things, because sometimes... Okay, come on. Oh, man. Okay, that's going fine there. Uh-oh. Looks like we had a freeze on the Facebook about that time. Oh man, he popped away like nothing. Bam, he gone. He there, bam, gone. Whew. There he is now, he's back. Amp it up here. It's kind of warm in here. I got a sweater underneath my Raider color plaid because it's cold here in Stockton. Got a long sleeve t-shirt on. Alrighty. Okay, we're at a footnote. No, here's 14. They will never fight against you in a body save in fortified cities from behind high walls. Their hostility among themselves is very great. You think of them as one, yet their hearts are divided. That is because they are a folk who have no sense. The Jews and hypocrites would be engaged in a battle with the prophet of Allah. They would not act in as one body because of their disbelief. Allah put fear in their hearts. They were unable to fight to find an open land because of their cowardness. Find any open, They preferred to fight in fortified cities. On the likeness of those who suffered a short time before them, they taste the ill effects of their own conduct, and a grievous scourge awaits them. Footnote, the pagan Arabs were defeated at Badr and Shuawal AH2. Wow. Page 546, 7:23 p.m. AH2, Battle of Badr. The Jews evidently did not take that lesson to heart. The condition of the Jews were same as the condition of the idolaters of Wadi, who were defeated a short time before the Battle of Badr. Interesting. Verse 16, and the hypocrites are like the devil when he orders man to disbelieve them. When he disbelieves, says, I here and now disavow you. I fear Allah and the Lord of the worlds. Verse 17, and the consequence for both will be that they are in the fire to remain there forever. Such is the reward of evildoers. Footnote, it is explained in this verse the consequence of disbelievers and the Satan both are evildoers. 18, O believers, observe your duty to Allah and let every soul look to that which it sends forward for the morrow, and observe your duty to Allah, for He is cognizant of all your actions. Footnote, hereafter is meant by morrow. The worldly life is only one day in the sight of Allah, so hereafter observation duty to Allah is reiterated by repetition. 19, and be not as those who forgot Allah so that He caused them to forget themselves. Such men are evildoers. The people of the fire and the dwellers of paradise are not equal. The dwellers of paradise are the victorious. Verse 21, if we had caused this Quran to descend upon a mountain, you, O Muhammad, would have seen it humbled, rent asunder by the fear of Allah. Such are the parables we set forth to mankind so that they may reflect. He is Allah, besides whom there is no other God, knower of the visible and the unseen. He is the compassionate, the merciful. Footnote, the compassionate, Rahman, and the merciful, Rahim, are derived in Arabic from the same root, Rahmat. Rahman's mercy covers all his creatures in this world. Rahim means he will spare only the believers on the day of judgment. He is Allah, besides whom there is no other God. He is the sovereign Lord, the Holy One, the source of security, the keeper of faith, the guardian, the mighty one, the all-powerful, the proud, exalted. He above the partners they ascribe to him. He is Allah, the creator, the originator, the modeler. His are the most beautiful names. All that is in heaven and earth glorifies him. He is the mighty, the wise. Okay, that's 23, 24, Allah's names. A footnote, the last messenger said about the last 3 verses of this surah, whoever recites in the morning these 3 verses after saying 3 times, Azu Balahis Semail Alimi Min Ash Shaitanarajim, Allah assigns for him 70,000 angels who pray for his forgiveness that day. If he dies that day, then his death is of a martyr's death, and if he recites these 3 verses in the evening, his situation is likewise. Okay, it's 22 through 24. Allah's names. Recite 3 times. Sins for that day are forgiven. Alrighty. And spoil for the poor fugitives have been driven out of their homes, and they seek bounty from Allah. Oh my. One through, and those before them who had homes in Medina, there. Okay, 1 through 9 at least. Uh, 1 through 11. 1 through 15, 16. Okay. 1 through 16. Jews and hypocrites. Justification. For exile of Bani Nadir. So this was like springtime of 626. And from here we're just gonna, okay, we got 7 33. Gonna read the N.J. Dawood translation on this. In the name of Allah, the Compassionate, the Merciful. All that is in heaven and earth gives glory to Allah. He is the Mighty, the Wise One. It was He that drove the unbelievers among the people of the book out of their dwellings into the first exile. You did not think that they would go, and they, for their part, fancied that their strongholds would protect them from Allah, but Allah's scourge fell upon those, hence they did not expect it, casting such terror into their hearts that their dwellings were destroyed by their own hands as well as by the faithful. Learn from their examples, you that have eyes. Let me do a computer check over here. That looks to be okay. I hope I don't snag there. Okay. And checking the... Okay. Oh, looking real good. Had Allah not decreed exile for them, He would have surely punished them in this world, but the world to come they shall be punished in hellfire, because they have set themselves against Allah and His Apostle, and he that sets himself against Allah would know that Allah is stern in retribution. Again, this is spring of 626. There was a lot of tension with the, or fall of 625, a lot of tension with the Meccans. They were fearful the Jews had an allegiance going with the Meccans, since they were not, they weren't going to accept Muhammad's religion. And so they weren't trying to beat on his Muhammad for having it. They just weren't going to accept it. They weren't going to become Muslims. It was Allah who gave you leave to cut down or spare their palm trees, so that He might humiliate the evildoers. As for those spoils of theirs which Allah has assigned to His apostle, you spurred neither horse nor camel to capture them, but Allah gives His apostle authority over whom He will. He has power over all things. The spoils taken from the town dwellers and assigned by Allah to His apostle belong to Allah. The apostle and his kinsfolk, the orphans, the poor, the wayfarers, they shall not become property of the rich among you. Whatever the apostle gives you, accept it, and whatever he forbids you, forbear from it. Have fear of Allah. He is stern in retribution. The share of the spoils shall also fall to the poor, Magahadirs, who have been driven from their homes and possessions, who seek Allah's grace and bounty and help Allah and His apostle. Those are the true believers. The men who stayed in their own city and embraced the faith before them love those who have sought refuge with them. They do not cover what they are given, but rather prize them above themselves, though they are in want. Those that preserve themselves from their own greed shall surely prosper. Oh, wow. Those who fled with Muhammad to Medina, we have, oh yeah. It was He that drove the unbelievers among the people of the book out of their dwellings into the first exile, and that refers to an allusion to Muhammad's expedition against the Jews of Nadir and Arabia. Okay. Continuing. Those that came to the faith after them say, Forgive us, Lord, and forgive our brethren who embrace the faith before us. Do not put in our hearts any malice towards the faithful, Lord. You are compassionate and merciful. Have you not seen the hypocrites? They say to their fellow unbelievers among the people of the book, if they drive you out, we will go with you. We will never obey anyone who seeks to harm you. If you are attacked, we will certainly help you. That was paper blowing about. Allah has been witness that they are lying. If they are driven out, they will not go with them, nor if they are attacked will they help them. Indeed, if they go to their help, they will turn their backs and fight and leave them in the lurch. And that's the hypocrites, that's the pagan. Well, those were the people whose beliefs that Allah didn't feel too good about, too sure of. Allah bears witness that they are lying if they are driven out. Okay, their dread of you is more intense in their hearts than their fear of Allah, so devoid are they of understanding. They will never fight against you in a body except in fortified cities and from behind high walls. Great is their valor among themselves. You think of them as one band, yet their hearts are divided. They are surely lacking in judgment. Like those who were but recently punished before them, they tasted the fruit of their own deeds. A grievous scourge awaits them. The hypocrites may be compared to Satan, who, when he has ordered man to disbelieve and man has done his bidding, says to him, I here and now disown you. I fear Allah, the Lord of the creation. They shall both end in hell and remain therein forever. Thus are the wrongdoers rewarded. Believers, have fear of Allah. Let every soul look to what it offers for the morrow. Fear Allah, for He is cognizant of all your action. Do not act like those who have forgotten Allah, so that He has caused them to forget themselves. Such men are evildoers. Dwellers of paradise and the heirs of hell shall not be held alike. The dwellers of paradise alone shall be triumphant. Had we brought down this Quran upon a mountain, you would have seen it humble itself and break asunder for fear of Allah. Oh, here's a reference to the the Kanoika Jews. And I'm not seeing that on the page. The page has got a footnote, a short footnote at the bottom, and it's where they're referring to, fighting the Banu Kanoika, or coming close to fighting them. Okay, that was, you had the Banu Kanoika, the Banu Nadir, and the Banu Kanoika, Kanoika, oh my, they were the ones that were, reduced by Mohammed. Reduce is right. Such are the sayings we coin for men, so that they may give thought. He is Allah, besides whom there is no other God. He knows the visible and the unseen. He is the compassionate, the merciful. He is Allah, besides whom there is no other God. He is the sovereign Lord, the Holy One, the giver of peace, the keeper of the faith, the guardian, the mighty one, the all-powerful, the Most High. Exalted be He above their idols. He is Allah, the creator, the originator, the modeler. His are the most gracious of names. All that is in heaven and earth gives glory to him. He is the mighty, the wise one. Still looking for where that footnote fits in. Yeah, this looks like it's a reference to the Bani Kanoika, and that was another major tribe. And he said they're all going to go to hell, so that might be a reference to them all having been executed, all the men of the tribe. Okay, well, that was Surah 59 on exiling of the Jews out of Medina. So, hard times. They were not accepted, and ultimately they were forced out, and ultimately forced out of Arabia, if not executed or enslaved, to have been effectively disappeared. Children raised as Muslims, women just off into slavery and married off to Muslims, and affected disappearing. No longer able to live their lives as Jews, and their menfolk were killed off. That's what happened to the Kanoika referred there. And that's what this surah covered and lent it justification in Holy Writ. That's what this is about. So with that, I'm going to call it a show. Looks to be like we have, let me make sure about the time. It's about 7:45. And let me bring up here on the Audition computer what we got. Oh, my. Yeah. Okay, it's about an hour and 5 minutes. Okay. Little over, but got 2 full surahs in, 2 different translations read. Thanks for listening in. This is KXVS.org. This has been the Sunday Evening Islam Show for January 6th, 2019. And continuing, we're going to step off the Facebook and the YouTube. And it looks like that's been webcasting, which is a good thing. Thank you for watching and listening, and learned a little bit of Medina and the Hijaz in 626, the exiling of the Jews and divorce. All righty.